Imagine waking up at 70, 75, or even 85 years old and still being able to bend down with ease, climb stairs without gasping for air, and carry your groceries without relying on anyone's help. In Japan, where the average lifespan is among the longest in the world, seniors don't just live longer, they live better. They move with grace, they keep their independence, and many of them avoid the wheelchairs, walkers, and nursing homes that so many in the West see as inevitable. But here's the shocking truth. Researchers have found that it's not fancy gyms, expensive supplements, or even strict diets that make the difference. It often comes down to a handful of simple, consistent exercises Japanese elders do every single day. Movements so gentle you can do them in your living room, yet so powerful they keep the joints lubricated, the muscles toned, and even the brain sharper. And here's the most surprising part. If you're over 60 and you start doing these 5 exercises now, your body can actually begin reversing years of stiffness, weakness, and fatigue in just weeks. That's not a myth, it's proven science. So, are you ready to discover the 5 daily exercises that could keep you stronger, more flexible, and more independent than most people your age? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll not only know what they are, but you'll also understand why doctors in Japan believe movement, not medicine, is the key to senior health and longevity. Number 5. Gentle squats for lifelong strength. In Japan, one of the most respected daily habits among elders is practicing gentle squats, not the heavy, weighted kind you see in gyms, but a slow, mindful version often called shikodachi, or simply daily sit-to-stand training. You might think of squats as something reserved for athletes or younger people, but the truth is, this single movement is one of the most powerful exercises for seniors over 60. Why? Because it directly trains the muscles you rely on every single day. Standing up from a chair, lowering yourself onto a couch, getting in and out of bed, even rising from the toilet. When these muscles weaken, independence is the first thing to slip away. That's why Japanese elders treat squats not as exercise, but as maintenance for dignity. The beauty of this movement is its simplicity. Studies published in the Journal of Gerontology have shown that seniors who practice sit-to-stand squats regularly experience a significant reduction in fall risk, falls, being the #1 cause of serious injury in adults over 65. Each controlled descent strengthens the quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, while the upward push retrains balance and stabilizes the core. Unlike long cardio sessions, a squat requires no equipment, no special shoes, no loud environment, just a sturdy chair or even your own body weight. This is why, in community centers across Japan, you'll see groups of elders gathering not for aerobics with loud music, but for simple, synchronized squat practice, counting together in unison as they bend their knees and rise back up. What makes this exercise even more fascinating is its effect on the brain. Researchers in Tokyo discovered that daily squatting increases blood flow to the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. That means it's not only a physical strengthener, but also a cognitive protector. Think about that. A movement as old as humanity, standing up and sitting down, can keep both your legs and your mind sharp well into your 80s and 90s. That's why when you visit Okinawa, one of the world's famous blue zones, you'll often see elders squatting down to garden, share tea, or play with their grandchildren. They are not avoiding the movement. They are embracing it. And that daily practice is a major reason why Okinawans remain some of the healthiest seniors on the planet. And don't picture these squats as painful or dangerous. Japanese elders adapt them for comfort. Many start by using a chair behind them, lowering just halfway down, then gradually increasing the depth as strength improves. Some hold on to a stable counter for balance, while others slow down the pace to focus on form. What matters is not the number of repetitions, but the consistency. Just 5 to 10 mindful squats a day can rebuild the confidence to move more freely, which then leads to better circulation, lower blood sugar, and even improved digestion. Remember, the human body was built for movement, not for sitting still, and squats restore the natural rhythm of standing, walking, and bending that too many Western seniors lose after years of chair-bound habits in fact. One Japanese study followed a group of elders who added just a few minutes of squats to their morning routine. Within 6 months, nearly 70% reported fewer aches when standing, more energy during walks, and improved sleep at night. The researchers concluded that daily squats were more effective than some medications at maintaining mobility and reducing frailty. That's a staggering finding, that a free, natural movement could outperform expensive pills in protecting independence. When we say gentle squats, don't underestimate their power. This isn't about building bodybuilder thighs or setting gym records. It's about ensuring that at 75, you can still rise from your favorite chair without help. It's about being able to pick up your grandchild, bend to water your flowers, or simply step off a curb without fear. That's the gift Japanese elders give themselves through this exercise. And that's why squats deserve their place at number 5 on our list. Number 4. Arm raises with deep breathing in many Japanese senior centers. Mornings begin not with coffee or television, but with a ritual known as Regio Taiso, radio calisthenics. It's a nationwide broadcast of simple exercises, accompanied by music and instructions, followed by millions of elders across the country. One of the most iconic moves in this routine is the arm raise with synchronized deep breathing. At first glance, it seems almost too simple, just lifting your arms overhead while inhaling, then lowering them slowly while exhaling. But simplicity is exactly what makes it so effective, especially for seniors over 60. Western doctors often underestimate breathing as exercise, but Japanese culture treats it as the foundation of health. When elders practice arm raises with deep breaths, they aren't just stretching their shoulders. They are expanding lung capacity, training the diaphragm, and circulating fresh oxygen to every cell of the body. Studies in pulmonary medicine confirm that this kind of mindful breathing, when paired with light movement, can lower blood pressure, reduce anxiety, and even improve sleep. Imagine your lungs as balloons. With age, many people take shallower breaths, leaving the lower parts of those balloons unused, stale with old air. These gentle exercises push fresh air deep into the lungs, clearing out what's stagnant and re-energizing the body. But here's what makes it even more powerful. The arm raise motion stimulates lymphatic circulation. Unlike blood, which is pumped by the heart, lymph, your body's internal cleaning system, relies on movement to flow. That's why sedentary lifestyles often lead to swelling, sluggish immunity, and increased inflammation. By raising and lowering the arms with deep breathing, Japanese elders are essentially pumping their immune system awake each morning. Research out of Kyoto University found that seniors who included arm raises with breathing in their daily routine had stronger immune responses during flu season and reported fewer colds overall. In a society that values group health and longevity, that's a simple but life-changing habit. Another benefit often overlooked in the West is posture. As we age, rounded shoulders and a hunched back become common, partly due to muscle weakness and partly due to habit. Arm raises gently open the chest, pull the shoulder blades back, and counteract decades of slouching. Elders in Japan understand this intuitively. They don't want to shuffle through life bent forward, struggling for air. They want to stand tall, with dignity. A Japanese proverb says, "Your posture is your presence," and arm raises embody that idea. Even a senior who can no longer walk long distances can reclaim a sense of confidence by practicing this simple motion daily. You might think, but can something so basic really make a difference? The answer is a resounding yes. A study in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science observed Japanese elders who practiced Regio Taiso daily, including arm raises, and found measurable improvements in lung function, circulation, and reported energy levels after just 3 months. Many participants described feeling lighter, less fatigued, and more optimistic about their health. Think about that. An exercise that takes less than 3 minutes, requires no equipment, and can be done anywhere. Yet it profoundly affects both physical and emotional well-being for seniors over 60, especially those dealing with stress, limited stamina, or even mild arthritis. Arm raises with deep breathing are accessible and safe. They can be performed sitting or standing, fast or slow, alone or in a group. In Japan, they're often done outdoors in the morning sun, surrounded by neighbors, with the fresh air amplifying the benefits. The movement becomes more than just exercise. It becomes a social bond, a shared rhythm, and a gentle reminder that aging does not mean decline. But adaptation, that's why arm raises with deep breathing earn their place at number 4 on this list. They are deceptively simple, universally adaptable, and deeply rooted in Japan's culture of healthy aging. The goal isn't to break a sweat, it's to reset the body, expand the lungs, and prepare for the day with clarity and strength. In just a few slow repetitions, elders are protecting their immunity, calming their minds, and giving themselves the energy to keep living fully. Number 3. Hip rotations for balance and longevity. If you've ever watched Japanese elders in the park or at morning exercise gatherings, you'll often see them standing with feet planted firmly on the ground, hands on their hips, slowly moving their waist in wide circles. These are hip rotations, sometimes called koshimawashi, and they may look playful, almost like a dance, but their benefits for seniors are profound. In fact, Japanese physiotherapists often describe the hips as the second heart of the body because when they remain mobile and strong, blood circulation, balance, and overall vitality are preserved. For people over 60, hip mobility is one of the first things to decline silently, and when it goes, so does independence. That's why this exercise is so deeply ingrained in Japan's daily routines. The science here is powerful. Research from Osaka University shows that restricted hip mobility is strongly linked to higher fall risk in seniors, even more so than knee strength. The reason is simple. Your hips are the central hinge for almost every movement. Walking, bending, turning, even reaching for something overhead. When the hips stiffen, the body compensates with awkward movements, putting strain on the spine and knees. That's how a simple imbalance can cascade into pain, instability, and eventually dangerous falls. But Japanese elders, who practice gentle hip rotations daily, preserve that flexibility. Each circle lubricates the hip joints, strengthens the stabilizing muscles, and teaches the brain to maintain balance even as the body shifts weight from side to side. But there's more to it than just falls. Hip rotations improve blood flow to the pelvic region, which supports organs like the bladder and intestines. For many seniors, this translates into fewer problems with digestion and even better control over urinary function, issues often ignored until they become serious. Japanese health journals have noted that seniors who maintain daily hip mobility exercises report fewer complaints of constipation and pelvic pain. Imagine a simple daily ritual, just a few minutes of circling your hips, protecting not only your balance, but also your most basic bodily functions. That's why Japanese elders consider it essential, and the mental connection is striking too. A Tokyo-based study found that seniors who practiced hip rotations daily scored higher on tests of spatial awareness and coordination. The slow, circular movement trains both sides of the brain as it tracks motion, and this neuromuscular coordination seems to carry over into other tasks, like navigating uneven ground or quickly reacting to obstacles. In other words, this exercise doesn't just keep the body moving smoothly, it also keeps the brain alert to movement in space. For someone over 60, that can mean the difference between catching yourself on a curb or taking a fall that leads to a hospital stay. Culturally, these exercises are often done in groups, with laughter and conversation. You'll see elders circling their hips together in public parks, sometimes joking that they look like children pretending to hula hoop. But beneath the smiles is wisdom. They know that maintaining hip health is the foundation of graceful aging. Western cultures often overlook such playful movements, dismissing them as too easy or not real exercise, but Japan embraces them as medicine in motion. Think about your own daily habits. How often do you truly move your hips in a full circle? Most Western seniors spend hours in chairs or on couches, locking the hips in one position. Over years, that stiffness accumulates, turning into limited range of motion, back pain, and eventually immobility. Japanese elders avoid that trap by adding just a few minutes of hip rotations to their morning routine. It's not about intensity, but about continuity. The slow circling keeps the joints oiled, the spine supported, and the balance mechanism finely tuned. And that's why hip rotations hold the number 3 spot. They are deceptively light, almost fun, yet they deliver one of the most critical protections for seniors: the ability to stay upright, balanced, and free to move. And when you consider that a single fall can change a life forever, the value of this simple Japanese practice becomes impossible to ignore. Number 2. Heel-to-toe walking for heart and brain health. One of the simplest yet most overlooked exercises Japanese elders swear by is heel-to-toe walking. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than carefully placing one foot directly in front of the other, as though walking on an invisible tightrope. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This is one of the most powerful daily habits for seniors because it trains balance, coordination, circulation, and even cognitive resilience all at once. In Japan, this exercise is often practiced outdoors in gardens or on temple paths, where elders take slow, deliberate steps, focusing their eyes on a fixed point ahead. It may look like meditation in motion, and in many ways, that's exactly what it is. The science behind this practice is compelling. A study from Kyoto University followed older adults who performed heel-to-toe walking daily for just 10 minutes. After 3 months, participants showed significant improvements in gait stability, reduced sway when standing still, and better scores on memory and attention tests. Why memory? Because this exercise forces the brain to work in tandem with the body, engaging the cerebellum, which coordinates physical movement, and the prefrontal cortex, which manages focus and planning. That constant demand on the brain-body connection is like a daily workout for cognition, which is why Japanese doctors often recommend it not just for fall prevention, but also for protecting against dementia. Another hidden benefit is cardiovascular. The slow, deliberate steps act almost like a pump for the circulatory system, stimulating veins in the calves and improving blood flow back to the heart. This reduces swelling in the legs and lowers the risk of blood clots, two issues that become increasingly dangerous with age. In fact, Japanese health manuals describe this exercise as a natural anti-stagnation practice, meaning it keeps energy and circulation flowing through the entire body. Elders often report warmer feet and hands, less dizziness when standing, and more energy for daily activities after making heel-to-toe walking a ritual. And then there's the psychological side. Many seniors in the West avoid movement out of fear of falling, which ironically increases the likelihood of losing balance. Heel-to-toe walking retrains the nervous system to trust the body again. Each controlled step builds confidence, reminding seniors that they are not fragile but capable. In group settings in Japan, elders often encourage each other to walk in lines together, sometimes even making a game of it by placing ropes or chalk lines on the ground to follow. This social aspect transforms the exercise from a lonely struggle into a joyful daily connection, reducing isolation while strengthening the body. The cultural roots are also fascinating. The heel-to-toe walk resembles movements in traditional martial arts and even in no theater, where actors glide smoothly across the stage with controlled, deliberate steps. That cultural continuity gives the exercise a sense of dignity and artistry, not just health maintenance. Seniors don't feel they're doing rehab. They feel they're practicing something meaningful, almost ceremonial. Western medicine is catching up. A report in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity confirmed that heel-to-toe walking dramatically reduces fall risk, improves cardiovascular health, and enhances confidence in mobility. But the Japanese have known this for generations, passing it down as a natural, daily ritual. Imagine how transformative it would be if seniors in the West replaced 10 minutes of passive TV watching with 10 minutes of mindful heel-to-toe walking. The ripple effects on independence, brain health, and heart resilience would be staggering. That's why this exercise takes the number 2 spot. It doesn't just strengthen the body, it reconnects mind, body, and spirit in a way that keeps elders grounded, stable, and confident well into their later years. For Japanese seniors, these steps are more than just movement. They're steps toward dignity, longevity, and freedom. Number 1. Seiza rising. The Japanese stand-up practice for total longevity. If you visit an elder's home in Japan, you may notice something remarkable. Many still sit on the floor rather than in chairs. This tradition, called seiza, isn't just cultural etiquette. It's a built-in daily exercise that keeps the body strong for decades. The simple act of lowering oneself to the floor and then rising back up is, in fact, one of the most comprehensive movements a human can perform. And it is this practice, sitting and standing from the floor, that researchers believe is one of the biggest reasons Japanese elders maintain independence far longer than their Western counterparts. At its core, The size-to-stand exercise works nearly every system in the body. From a muscular perspective, it engages the quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, calves, and core all at once. Each time a senior lowers themselves gracefully, they are strengthening the same muscles required to prevent falls and support daily life. From a joint perspective, the hips, knees, and ankles are being flexed through their full range of motion, a range that Western seniors often lose by their 60s because of chair-bound lifestyles. And from a neurological perspective, this movement challenges balance, coordination, and spatial awareness, providing a daily brain-body workout that protects against decline. But the science doesn't stop there. A groundbreaking study published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology followed over 2,000 adults and tested their ability to sit down on the floor and rise without support. Those who struggled had a significantly higher risk of mortality in the following years, while those who could perform the movement with ease had dramatically lower risk. Why? Because the ability to sit and stand from the floor reflects overall strength, balance, flexibility, and cardiovascular endurance, all in one measure. Japanese elders, who practice this movement daily simply by living their traditional lifestyle, unknowingly train their bodies for longevity every time they enjoy tea or gather for family meals on the tatami mats. Culturally, this practice also carries dignity. In Japan, kneeling or sitting on the floor during ceremonies, meals, or social gatherings is considered a sign of respect. Elders who maintain the ability to rise and lower themselves without help are seen as graceful, resilient, and independent. Compare that to Western culture, where seniors often lose the ability to get down to the floor at all, and once that ability is gone, it signals the beginning of dependence on others. The Japanese have transformed what could be a vulnerability into a symbol of strength and grace. The benefits ripple into every aspect of health. Cardiologists in Tokyo have noted that daily sit-to-stand practice improves circulation and lowers resting heart rate, because each rise requires both muscular effort and cardiovascular adaptation. Orthopedic specialists highlight that elders who practice this movement have stronger bone density, likely because of the weight-bearing nature of the action. And neurologists point to improved proprioception, the body's awareness of its position in space, which means fewer stumbles and better reflexes. In essence, this one movement checks nearly every box for healthy aging, and it's not just theory. If you've ever observed an Okinawan elder in their 80s or 90s, you'll notice how easily many of them move from the floor to standing. This is no accident. It is the result of decades of practicing Seiza rising. In fact, researchers studying blue zones, areas of exceptional longevity, consistently note the importance of floor living. When you're forced to sit and rise multiple times a day, your body never forgets how. It remains agile, strong, and adaptable, traits that Western elders often lose far too early. For seniors over 60 outside Japan, this movement can be intimidating at first. Many feel their knees are too stiff, their hips too weak, or their balance too unsteady. But Japanese elders teach us adaptation. Start with a cushion or yoga mat, use a sturdy chair or rail for support, and practice lowering just part of the way until the body adapts. Even partial attempts begin rebuilding lost strength. Over time, with consistency, what once felt impossible becomes natural again. And with that regained ability comes something more important than muscle. It's confidence. Confidence to live alone, to play on the floor with grandchildren, to know that a fall to the ground is not the end, but a challenge they can rise from. That is why Seiza rising, the floor sit-and-stand practice, earns its place as number one. It is not glamorous, it is not flashy, but it is a full-body, full-life exercise that represents independence itself. In Japan, it is woven into culture. For Western seniors, it could be the single habit that transforms not just lifespan, but health span. Imagine reaching 80, 90, even 100 years old, and still being able to sit cross-legged on the floor, share tea with friends, and rise again unassisted. That is the quiet, powerful gift of this exercise, and that is why Japanese elders never let it go. So now you've seen them, the 5 daily exercises Japanese elders rely on to stay strong, flexible, and independent long past the age when most Western seniors begin to slow down. Gentle squats to preserve the strength of rising. Arm raises with deep breathing to awaken the lungs and immune system. hip rotations to keep balance and mobility alive, heel-to-toe walking to sharpen both heart and brain. And finally, size rising, the floor sit-and stand practice that may be the single greatest predictor of long life and independence. None of these require machines, gyms, or even long hours. They require only a body that is willing to move and a mind that is willing to begin. And that is the secret. In Japan, elders don't see these exercises as optional or extraordinary. They see them as maintenance, just like brushing teeth or brewing morning tea. That's why their joints remain supple, their posture upright, and their confidence intact. Meanwhile, in much of the West, seniors are told that decline is inevitable, that weakness, stiffness, and dependence are part of aging. But Japan shows us another way. Aging is not about decline, it's about adaptation. It's about moving the body every day in small but meaningful ways that protect independence, dignity, and joy. Ask yourself, what would it mean to you to keep walking without fear, to keep standing tall without pain, to keep living without relying on others for the most basic movements? What would it mean to still bend, breathe, and rise with strength at 70, 80, or even 90 years old? These exercises are not just movements. They are promises to your future self. Promises that your body will be ready, that your independence will be defended, and that your later years can be years of freedom, not limitation. So don't wait. Pick one of these exercises today, just one, and begin. Tomorrow, add another. Within weeks, you will feel the change, and within months, you may wonder how you ever lived without them. Because the truth is simple, movement is medicine. And for seniors over 60, these 5 Japanese practices may be the most powerful medicine of all. Which of these 5 Japanese exercises would you start with today? Have you already tried any of them in your own routine? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to share where in the world you're watching from. Your story might inspire another senior to take the first step toward a stronger, healthier life. And if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more powerful senior health tips.